African movie industry. Did you know that Nollywood, Africa's film industry, is the world's third largest after Hollywood and Bollywood? West Africa's film industry is expanding, with Nigerian movies leading the region and Africa as a whole. How are other nations and Africa as a whole performing when it comes to the film industry? Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're looking at one of the most valuable industries in the world, the film industry. Subscribe if you haven't done so already and turn on the post notification bell. Like, comment and share the video. At the moment, the African film industry is booming. Nollywood, Nigeria's most popular film business, is presently valued at over 800 million United States dollars. It has expanded at a breakneck pace over the past 2 decades to become the world's third largest film industry, by several films released, behind only Hollywood and Bollywood. Every week, about 40 new films are released into the market, and the business has a global fan base of over 1 billion plus people. Ghana and Kenya have burgeoned the film industry as well. Despite low investment and inadequate distribution, the African film industry is still in its early stages of development, with plenty of opportunities for astute entrepreneurs. Let's take a look at this incredible market and all of the lucrative business options it offers. There is a lot of promise in the African film industry. Globally, the film entertainment industry produced about $100 billion in sales in 2012, up from $90.6 billion in 2010. Due to several obstacles, African films only control a small portion of these proceedings. Despite its enormous size, the African film industry is not yet a multi-billion-dollar enterprise like its global equivalent. Let's compare our market, which is still in its early stages, to Hollywood, the well-established and mature American film industry, to put the African industry's potential into perspective. The movie business in the United States is so vast that the state of California, where Hollywood is situated, has a GDP of $1.4 trillion pre-recession and was the world's 5th largest economy, with more wealth than all 54 African nations combined. To understand this, let's take an example. The $1.4 trillion would fund the whole of African countries by catering for their economic needs for a number of years. Indian films, on the other hand, are some of the biggest box office blockbusters in the world. With over 20,000 theatres in India alone, Bollywood filmmakers and distributors are among India's wealthiest individuals, and the Indian film industry continues to thrive. Indian actors are also on the list of the world's wealthiest and most paid actors. African film industry is quite similar to that of Bollywood, and is commonly predicted that the African film business success would be comparable to that of India. Given the present pace of expansion, the African film business has the potential to become a multi-billion-dollar industry in less than a decade. The film business is presently the second biggest employment in Nigeria, where the movie boom began, and has a rapidly rising global audience. Even though African films have been made since the 1960s, the advent and expansion of inexpensive digital recording and editing technology has resulted in a surge in video film creation. Due to its family-oriented themes and cultural connections, African films are becoming more generally accepted throughout the continent than foreign films. As a consequence, these films have become a worldwide and cultural phenomenon that Africans appreciate both at home and abroad. North America, Europe, the Caribbean, and Asia all have a rapidly rising fan following. According to Iroko TV, the leading online platform for distributing African movies, Nollywood serves an audience thirsty for love, drama, intrigue, comedy, redemption, action, and more. The end product is unique: African stories by African people for Africans. And boy, do we have a lot of stories to tell. On a continent where more than 70% of the population is under the age of 25, filmmakers are flocking to the continent because of its unique mix of a large market, a competitive distribution system, and availability of raw and affordable talent. The African film industry will undoubtedly undergo another period of tremendous development and profitability in the next years with the correct amount of finance and increased output quality. In the African film industry, there are several chances available. To better understand the prospects in the sector, we've broken down the African film industry's value chain into 3 stages: film creation, production, and distribution. Each of these phases has its own set of obstacles and possibilities for forward-thinking entrepreneurs and investors to seize. Let's take a look at each step one at a time. Film development. This step generally entails coming up with a movie concept and choosing a good tale, which might be based on a book or a play, another successful film, a real story, or an original idea, among other things. The African film industry has always struggled with thin material and bad screenplay, sadly. Anyone with the correct amount of interest and exposure may become a skilled screenwriter or scriptwriter. There are various excellent and free websites and software programs available on the internet to assist you in improving your skills in this area. During the development stage of the filmmaking process, another intriguing issue and potential is money. The single most critical cause in the African film industry's low profits is a lack of funding. Currently, the majority of films are made by small businesses and individual producers. African films are by far the cheapest and fastest to create anywhere in the world, with an average budget of about $25,000 and a production time of roughly 2 weeks. However, obstacles in the production stage, such as piracy, jeopardize the entrepreneur's ability to recoup his or her investment. In the distribution section below, we'll go through the methods you may use to prevent this problem. Despite these difficulties, financing African film productions is not as dangerous as it is in Hollywood. The market's preferences are straightforward, and tales about love, drama, intrigue, and humor are generally embraced. Also, despite all these challenges, some of Africa's film creators and directors have managed to make world-class quality content for their films. Film production. Assembling of a production crew, casting of actors, shooting of the film, and editing of the film material into the final product that is delivered to the market are all typical aspects of production. Production houses, cinematographers, movie editors, animation experts, costume designers, makeup artists, sound producers, choreographers, and catering crews all have chances at the stage of the filmmaking process. Imagine if they were well-run and equipped production facilities that supplied all of the services required to turn a movie concept into a finished picture, sparing movie producers and investors the headache of putting everything together. The production company would complete the film based on the budget and screenplay supplied. This is the kind of service that the industry sorely needs and will gladly pay for. Equipment rentals and specialty services like special effects and animation provide more business prospects at this stage. Movie distribution. The film is generally distributed to theaters or, on rare occasion, to consumer media, DVD, VCD, VHS, Blu-ray, or direct download from the internet at this point in the production process. One of the most significant roadblocks to the expansion of the African film industry is its distribution infrastructure. Piracy, illegal copying and distribution of movies, has flourished as a result of a lack of organization in this area, accounting for more than 80% of all disseminated films. As a consequence, beyond the first few weeks following a product's debut, movie entrepreneurs seldom sell any more copies of their films. Every year, the African film piracy industry generates about $200 million in revenue. Discovering and addressing an issue in your own surroundings might be one of the simplest methods to start a company anywhere in the world. And that's precisely what Iroko TV's Jason Njoku did. Jason Njoku obtained internet distribution rights from movie makers in 2010 after noting the issues with Africa's movie distribution network and piracy. Since then, he has collected over 5,000 African films on his online movie platform. His Iroko TV website now attracts over 10 million visitors from throughout the globe. His business has received more than 12 million in investment money from 2 venture capital groups headquartered in the United States and Sweden. The answer to overcoming the grip of piracy on the sector and releasing massive gains for entrepreneurs is the online distribution of African films. Movie makers may avoid conventional distribution cartels by releasing their films straight to audiences through channels like YouTube and Netflix. As internet penetration grows and bandwidth becomes more affordable throughout Africa, Iroko TV is one of several platforms that will replace DVDs. Cinemas are another fascinating option in the distribution stage. Cinemas and movie theaters account for more than 75% of worldwide movie income. Cinemas, which are still the most popular way for filmmakers to maximize profits on their investments, are woefully insufficient in Africa. For example, in the United States, there are roughly 40,000 movie screens, or about 120 per million people. In India, there are 20,000 screens, and in China, there are about 13,000 screens. Can you estimate how many movie theaters are there in Africa? There are less than 1,000. That equates to less than one cinema for every million people. To fully harness the industry's potentials, Africa will need to build around 1,000 theaters each year, at the rate at which its movie market is growing. The trend is clear. Africa's film industry is on its way to becoming a multi-billion-dollar sector, much like Bollywood in India. All of the difficulties and challenges it encounters, however, will need solutions. There's a lot of money-making potential in these improvements for savvy businesses. The African film industry is huge and is shown to have a global audience. The market's profitable potential is extraordinary, and demand is growing every day. If you feel there's a niche you can carve for yourself in this industry, you must act quickly and help it grow to become the next most sought out in the world. The coronavirus pandemic had a significant impact on the television advertising and film sectors, but it has also sparked an exciting transformation according to the research. New generations of filmmakers may now survive off the cash produced online by their work in countries like Kenya, Rwanda, Ethiopia, and Senegal. According to the Guardian paper, since digital cinematographic equipment has grown more accessible, live material may now be distributed and monetized in new ways thanks to platforms like YouTube, Netflix, and local mobile video services. According to the report, these shifts have resulted in the formation of a new economy for African content providers who are now operating without the help of conventional players. That marks the end of what we had prepared for you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for even more content of this nature. Turn on the notification bell to keep you posted on channel activities. Until the next video, stay safe.